Welcome back for the final game of the day. Whoa, where EGA faces Immortals. It is actually the final day as well, at least of the regular season. My name is Pastry Time. I'm still here with Chromes, and I am both happy and sad to report that we will have no tiebreakers at the end of this. This is our final game of the regular season now, Chromes.
Mostly sad, but also we get to look back at where we started, the final game of Academy, because this has been a one wild ride.
But
it's still March.
Could still be like that. As a reminder, because we have no tiebreakers, you can correctly intuit that means we have this match has no bearing on the standings for the rest of the league. However, this is certainly for Evil Geniuses the last hurrah to kind of show what they're made of, show their strength as they move into playoffs. And for Immortals, they've been playing some pretty off-the-wall picks for a lot of the season. If there was ever a time to pull out the Aloran Wukong, to, you know, maybe get some fun counter picks going, to try some stuff that they've been experimenting with, this is the game. Or you can just pick standard and try and have a good game there. In either case, we'll see what the Champs League brings us. But EG are already aware of the potential Aloran problems. They'll ban Mordekaiser and Urgot away. And also Aphelios, as Set and Senna have been banned on the other side.
I imagine the team that's been memeing all year about how wonky their drafts can be goes into the last game after they've failed to make playoffs and says, this is the time to stay normal. We should not build draft. We should be as standard as possible.
Oh goodness, that's a Maokai.
Side, which is what they have loved to play.
That is the world's fastest Maokai lock-in. Alright. Orn's banned away. Yeah, that's, again, like Thresh first pick was already kind of wild from TL, but after watching that game play out, I can see why they did it. This is not the first pick I thought I would be seeing, but straight Maokai for Evil Genius.
Okay. My guess is it's mid Maokai or support Maokai. I don't think this is a top lane insta.
See what happens for Immortals draft though. They do take the Pantheon, which has been quite popular today, especially in the ban columns. So Immortals will have their choice of where to take that. Potluck actually has played it recently as yesterday in the jungle. Talia also a jungler, so you never know what's gonna happen. But a very actually that's also a bottom lane too. Wow. Okay, there's some fun stuff.
Exactly. That's what. So you were talking about Pantheon because he was being played a bunch more, but you don't get that much out of Pantheon by just picking him because he's such a versatile flex. Now that you have Talia though, you're really confusing the enemy because now they have no idea what's going on. And you were briefing that it could be bot lane Pantheon Talia. That's one of them. It could be Talia mid Pantheon jungle. It could be Pantheon jungle Talia mid. It could be Pantheon top Talia mid. There are so many combinations, and as long as Immortals plays into them more, EG will have to show their draft hand, and then they can react.
And there's Aurelia actually where they want. The newest member of Evil Geniuses, very recently has finally joined the team after a slew of visa issues throughout the split. Also, as you kind of went through some potential junglers, Maokai jungle could also be a possibility here for Anders. So a very curious start to this draft, especially with that Morgana locked in. Potentially the support, potentially the who knows? Could be anything at this point. I'm getting very confused.
I haven't seen Maokai jungle a lot, but he works in theory the same way he's always worked. You have saplings and you use those to prep your first clear, which is how you survive, and then you hit a root or a flash root and your gank assist is crazy, and if you hit level 6 your team fighting is insane.
Quite a lot of Karma mid for Insanity, so that is the final selection here for Immortals, who have lots of different options they can take with these 3 picks. Sejuani though going to be banned away, thinking that the Maokai is either going to go to the support position as you said, or maybe towards the top, or I guess still mid if they want to flex the Aurelia out of there. But really fun draft here for our final game of the regular season here at Academy in spring 2020. Evil Genius is banning away junglers in kind. Of course, there are 2 potential junglers already picked away, so Jarvan being taken away here may not irk Potluck at all.
Yeah, they're making sure that if Immortals wants to change up the composition a little bit more, that it's not too strong in the early game, making sure that the ganking prowess is not just too much to run them over, because Morgana does need some levels to be able to stop the engages from Talia and Pantheon. That Black Shield level 1 doesn't really hold much against
There's Varus and
Atalia.
Olaf as the last two bans. So first pick of phase 2 here for Immortals, 4th pick overall. Again, we're going to have to learn more about this comp, but I don't feel like I'm getting any closer to figuring out where these champions are going, Crumbs. That's Zac locked in for Immortals. Could be Zac jungle.
Could be Zac top.
Mid, yeah.
Could be Zac mid.
I mean, all these champions have seen play in more than one position. I guess Karma is actually the one that probably hasn't seen play in more than one position this split. But we know, of course, Karma can be quite flexible as well. So we'll see, as Kai'Sa already locked in there for Deathly. He's decided that that's what he wants to play at their final regular season game. And maybe we'll find out where the Maokai is going. Because we have one more pick here for EG, and it is going to be the Thresh, Matt, on the signature pick there for himself. So, I don't know who the most likely jungler of them is. Yeah, I guess it is Maokai.
Maokai jungle.
That
it
would be
could be
spicy.
Morgana jungle. She did get some tweaks to her damage. I personally think that she would not be healthy for the game if she were a good jungler. No one wants to deal with a Morgana from, like, imagine Karthus if she came out from Morgana style, right?
Yeah,
like that's kind of what it can be. And Immortals then it just goes even further into their shenanigans as we have potentially a Pike Karma or Pike
okay.
Talia,
Yep.
right? Punt into the.
I've seen this already, and I
E.
want to say Immortals is the team that played it, but actually settles in a fairly, I don't want to say standard place, but settles somewhere we kind of expect, I guess, at the end of all these picks. Talia Pike in the bottom lane, Karma in the mid lane, Pantheon in the jungle, and Zac in the top lane. Although I'm going to wait to see let the countdown timer tick down just a little once everyone has already locked in, but it is going to be as they're presented at the end there, which also includes Morgana jungle, which is
Morgana
the thing I was
jungle.
going to say.
Whoa. Okay. I mean, the changes are, like, I had them pulled up right here before this because I was hoping that this would happen. And it's been a change that came up from 10.5. Let's see exactly just how much damage we have. This is the power of technology. We couldn't do this before.
No way we could do it.
It is. It's not possible. Tormented Soil. So it does 150% damage to monsters.
I mean,
so the W.
As far as
power.
Morgana actually clearing through the jungle, that is quite a lot better than not having the extra bonus there. So this is going to be a really fun game, which is a nice way to end the season. Again, playoff implications. Every team has done at this point. Even Evil Geniuses who are in playoffs cannot improve their current standing. So this is going to be our final game of Academy regular season. Don't forget that playoffs will start next week on Thursday. But Champ Select is now over, so that means another 5-minute break will be taken to preserve competitive integrity as we build up delay due to the nature of the online broadcast. So don't go too far away. We'll see you right after this for Morgana Jungle, I guess. Welcome back, everyone, to our final Academy game of the 2020 Spring regular season. I am Pastry Time. I'm still joined by Crumbs, and our 5-minute delay to preserve competitive integrity is now up. So we'll see. Are EG just trying to show off? Are they just pretending they can play this? Is this actually good? We're going to learn a lot today about Morgana Jungle, apparently, because that is what Anda has selected for their final game of this split.
So I don't think EG is trolling or even close to it, because they have Giyu, who hasn't been in this team for the whole split. So they actually need every game they can get to build up that synergy. And when you've got Aurelia with a Morgana, this Black Shield behind them, I think this is them saying this could be a strong 2.
Interesting as well, because on the IMT side, playing certainly a lot of fun picks. Certainly have also drafted quite a nice comp for themselves, but they had a little bit more, liberty of what they wanted to play here for their final game, because they are out of playoffs, and nothing they do here in this game will change that. But if Morgana Jungle is good, do you think it's a good idea to show this strategy now? Because winning or losing this game for EG also doesn't change where they are in the standings. They're still going to be in playoffs.
So the thought process would be that it's not good because you could show it, and
or potentially like scout it or know you have it, or
well, I think that because playoffs is so far away, if Morgana Jungle were to be good, teams would arrive at it naturally. And so showing it here, I think, is more of a let's see how we can do it. You start piloting it, so not
that potential stun. Potluck, though, does have his stun of his own, and a good empowered Q is going to deal some nice damage, but Altek going to be forced to flash away. Matt with the flash flay going to chase down Altek. He's got no flash. He does have the exhaust, but the ignite's going to tick down. The sapling will not reach him from the bush, but do they have any follow-up here? And with the Q just missing as Altek with a great bit of movement is going to prevent that from happening. Flash in though, and is still chasing. Phaedros is proccing. They're going to try and take him down here. And Morgana Jungle, maybe we're not going to learn that much, because that's first blood in level 2 already for Anda.
She's so fast. She's running Arcane or Phase Rush, so we are going to have a lot of questions be answered from this Morgana
maybe
Jungle
Nimbus
today.
as well. If I had to guess, I would assume Morgana had it, which is part of why the flash worked out there. But a pretty fun one. Anda does not get the kill. That, of course, does go to Deathleap. He's going to be feeling pretty good about the start there, but Anda gets a bit of extra XP, and now is back out farming the jungle with, as you mentioned, Crumbs, that buffed W, that tormented soil, able to help her actually clear through as a jungler of all things.
Yeah. She's not going to have the solo objective pressure, so she's all about ganking and being with the team as a supportive champion should be. So this does put a stronger emphasis on Deathly and maybe even Giyu to be there when it comes to taking down dragons or,
also, top lane
even
is,
a Baron.
I think what a lot of people thought we might be seeing more of when the Barmy Cinder buffs happened and tanks kind of got beefed up a little. Definitely they're going to take the lantern out. Good play there from Matt. The flick only hits the aftershocking threshold of the stun follow-up, and the ignite is going to mean a kill there for Gate. Very nicely coordinated for IMT.
Yeah, we're starting to see where the attention's going to go to, and the lane with the most CC is the right call, of course, as Potluck finds his first kill, and they need to return. There are no summoners on Deathly and Matt, and Gate and Altek can pull the trigger on this lane.
Yeah, and certainly they did. This is one of the strengths of Tilia and Pyke. Very potent 2v2, especially when it comes to locking people down and actually getting kills in your 2v2. But it's kind of the opposite here in top lane, as I was trying to mention earlier. Maybe going to see more of this kind of matchup a lot more. We've seen Maokai mid in the LCS. We've seen Zac floating around in jungle and solo lanes in both Academy and LCS as well. But haven't seen a lot of tanks other than Ornn for the most part. And maybe Zac being the other one. The gank here in the top lane, very nicely set up there. Is going to get the passive out of Alora, maybe? No, not yet. The slingshot is very nice as Alora flashes out as well. So it does have to burn the summoner, but does get out safely.
So oddly enough, I saw a Zac build the other day that got me really thinking. It was Zac mid, so a little bit different than this one, but still Conqueror. Ooh, Frozen Heart.
And we see very often is Potluck continuing to be aggressive here. Matt again going to get aggressed down on Potluck, able to get that kill. Gate probably didn't even need to flash there as Pyke.
Wanted to make sure that the kill would be secured, but they can still continue to abuse this lane as Aurelia has to come down. alleviate some of that
Also
pressure.
running low on mana, so Alorum not feeling too unsafe, despite the health bar being low from the earlier presence shown by Ander. So very interesting start to the early game. Quite action-packed as Immortals are actually up 500 gold. Thanks to those 2 kills, despite losing first blood at level 1 after a jungle invade.
Man, losing so many summoners on a comp that really wants to make the most out of them. This is where it starts getting fun, because you got Mobies on Pike, the champions that need their skill shots to find the picks are already online, and it's easier now than when the laning phase is over, because that's when the team fights happen and you have to outnumber someone. Now, you just kind of go wherever, and you know that EG's just going to stay in their laning phases for the most part.
A bit aggressive there for Giyu as Gate did visit the mid lane, but early Drake taken there by Ander would help him definitely. Did not expect Morgana to be able to cleanly solo that out, but did of course have help. What a hook there from Matt. Understands the hitbox after so many games, and that's going to be Gate maybe dead. No, he gets out again, dashes to safety in the W and is able to live.
Wow, the Karma Shield was so clutch there.
He's under the tower. Oh no, the passive is gone. He's been divided into many cells. And Brandini just going to ulti to make sure the kill happens. That is mistimed for Alorum.
Ooh, yeah. You don't really want to be using the E right there, but he does it. Yep. Pays for it. Pays the iron price. Still has TP up.
It's a little silly more than anything else, but a little too close to tower there to be making an aggressive play. Brandini punishes him for it. You also still dancing around here. Potluck also in the mid lane, and maybe going to go for the tower dive. Indeed, they will. Good flash from Giyu. Here comes Ander throwing out the binding, but doesn't really land. In fact, it's just some soil that's down after it. So Giyu is going to get away, but is going to have to go back to base with no flash as he returns to the lane.
Yeah, surprised that Immortals didn't go a little bit harder for that kill. The red smite had been committed. I think with flash on Insanity, more auto damage, or just more forward motion.
Insanity also going to TP back to lane. Is the summoner spell he's taken into this game. So going to get things pushing back out here and take a small CS lead over Aurelia for now, although it looks like Giyu is going to be back to catch the wave at around that time anyway, so nothing really lost at the end of it all. In fact, Insanity is not even hard shoving the wave. Going to try and keep Aurelia in a less safe spot in the lane. And bottom lane continues to show pressure here. Level 6 early for Altec, thanks to Gate's roams. And once again, the tanks are battling here. I'm surprised this has been the most, like... I guess I'm not that surprised. I was going to say it's the most action-packed lane, but it's only because they have to hit each other so many times for anything to happen. So a lot happens, but also nothing happens.
Yeah. It's weird because Alorum's strength is in using all his abilities in healing, percent damage, which is W, but then Maokai gets every passive proc because Zac has such low cooldowns, so he's also sustaining more. So they're both getting sustain out of each other, which makes it so that no one
unless you take too many tower shots, nothing crazy is going to happen. Alorum still trading, picking up the blobs. But Brandini, he squashes one. Nice play there. Matt with a good hook there onto Altec. Gate also here as well. Gonna get the flick back, and Matt, I think he's dead. Oh, goodness. Gate gonna be kept out of the Ander just in time, as Insanity was also on the roam.
Aurelia's coming here. That was a big commitment out of Immortals.
Ooh,
not the right angle.
Ander. So no follow-up kill there potentially for EG. Still, Giyu with free time in the mid lane is nice. He's going to look to take down that mid outer tower, or at least get some damage done to the plates. Does not have Demolish, though. Has Yellow Tree and Inspiration. So it does at least get a plate, though, out of the deal.
So that was the second flash W, or flash bind from Morgana. I don't think teams are going to be concerned at the moment.
Yeah, and it might need a few more Morgana games.
Of the Morgana coming. I mean, I think that they just won a group. This is a comp that makes more sense the more grouped you are, while Immortals gets more value out of being really quick to a fight and picking you out of nowhere, right? Using either the slingshot or the Karma speed, Pike stealth, or even Pantheon's ultimate. It's just that these are the kind of comps that legitimately have so many tools, you can get overwhelmed using them. because everybody wants to do something, right? This is not an, oh, you have a carry that he just sits back and does his job quietly. Like, this is every single person is trying to likely call for something, and if there isn't a system within a team to determine which play should be followed, indecisiveness breeds, and then nothing happens, and then you have a team comp that looks cool but doesn't actually
There's
team
definitely
fight
such a thing as too much agency, which I think a lot of that is being provided to IMT with this particular draft. Riftchild Fighter is breaking up. Rangini's here, ready for the ulti, lets it loose. Potluck though zooms in and steals it. As Giyu able to take him down, but Alorum is going to grab the Herald now, looking to bounce around, does a slingshot into the middle of the team as Giyu's dead, but definitely already getting a kill on the back end of it all. Slays Altec, the bot lane brethren, as the hook will be flashed out by Insanity. Gate now going to have to get out of there as Immortals burn almost all the flashes to get out to safety. The Riftchild goes to IMT, but EG do win the fight.
Yeah, they win that because Immortals, his coordination is just a little bit off. Pantheon died right away, the shield not aimed exactly in the right direction. Not like it would have actually mattered. You just need everybody to go in there, and more importantly, Zac. Zac is much tankier than Pantheon when it comes to engaging into 5 people, and if he's not going in first, that means that whoever went in will probably die.
So, as EG do have a gold lead here as we move just over the 11-minute mark. Hook though not going to connect. Level 5 hit from Matt. Level 6 now for Gate. That was also missing for the last team fight. But the heal there from Deathly will keep his support safe. Potluck though going to dive back in. And though with the binding, flick back there onto Deathly. But Potluck will be forced to flash away as Brandini's roamed down here as well. See if EG can get the binding this time. Connect. Giyu looks at the main guy's edge, but does not find it onto Gate. But still, Altec with that binding, it always just lasts so long, Crumbs. Able to take down the Talia.
Really well played there out of EG. I love what Anda was doing there, splitting up from Matt, using the black shield from over the wall, and then knowing that Matt had that stopwatch. And that's the kind of communication you want to see. You want to see them say, hey, I have stopwatch. You don't need to overcommit for me. Let me be. And Immortals doesn't recognize that. EG counters it. Pantheon looks for a play again, and it starts to look very similar to the Pantheon that Potluck played yesterday, which is just a relentless look for picks that continues to fall.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of IMT's comp kind of says, like, make plays as often as you can, right? Very aggressive, lots of different tools as you described earlier, so you know, you try for things too many times and eventually you're just going to fall behind each time you fail those plays. So definitely quite a volatile team comp here for Immortals. The game's certainly still close enough to be fine, but you do have to worry as the game goes further, you know, with this Morgana getting stronger, with the good front line and utility between the Thresh and the Maokai, and of course good carries for Morgana to Black Shield, Kai'Sa and Aurelia. You can see where IMT might start to worry about things, but it really just is Deathly right now. 2-0 and 2 having a good early start, but the gold itself very close between the two teams. I think any lead under 1,000, even this early into the game, doesn't feel particularly significant.
I'm starting to think more about Morgana, and she might actually be really busted. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and the first sign is that she's taking advantage of face rush, which you can proc in your soil, right? So soil can proc your face rush, which I think makes her a lot stronger than I gave her credit for, because mobility is her big problem, and this fixes it.
That's true. I mean, I can tell you right now, Ander is certainly the kind of player that, you know, if there is, you know, a newer jungle pick that is very strong, he will play it. He is on top of, you know, what's hot in solo queue, you know, some of the more niche or trendier things that are happening. So if Morgana jungle is busted, Ander will know that already and is not afraid to bring it out, which is always nice to see in a player, their willingness to play, you know, newer things. When a lot of players can sometimes be stuck with the picks they already know. Good attempt on the combo here. Oh, Altec gonna get jumped back to, and see ya later. Giyu kiting around that flick perfectly as well.
That was beautiful. That was exactly what you want to see out of an Aurelia. The side steps on everything, knowing that you can take the fight is something that I know Aurelia's might not even look for, thinking that the Pyke and Talia have a way to outplay you, but when you have that much mobility against only skill shots,
Brandini into the hook by Matt, and see you later, Insanity. Matt able to get that kill. Brandini not going to be so lucky. X marks the spot for Gate there as he assassinates the Maokai with the ulti. But the tower's still down thanks to the Rift Herald channel by Ander, so well worth it to give Brandini's life away for all that.
Yeah, that's pretty good for them. And that mid lane turret also gets met by a second, which further secures the vision that Evil Geniuses need in the red side for getting to that soul point, which is going to be pretty early soul point too.
Yeah, this game is getting quickly out of hand as the speed is increasing rather rapidly. The lead that wasn't significant, I mentioned only a few minutes ago, now 2,000 gold ahead for EG certainly is. So they'll line up for this next Drake in a minute 35. They'll continue to get stronger here as the Blade of the Ruined King is now finished. For Giyu here, looking for that Wits and second, much like we saw in Yasui's Aurelia last game. And definitely hasn't even really spent to get that second item just yet, or transformed the Manamune, and both those things are certainly on the way for the Kai. So, a lot of strength here for EG, and again, the more these plays do not work out for IMT, the more of a struggle it's going to be for their comp.
Yeah, I still want to imagine this comp has a good chance of taking a big team fight if every page, if everything hits perfectly, right? A 5-man Zac slingshot into the knockoff with Pantheon, it can be amazing. It's just that the level of coordination is exceedingly high. I don't think I've seen Immortals play a more
I would 100% agree. As Alarm onto Ander is going to try and start something. Altek also with the ulti. Rides the wall over, but not quite far enough as Ander does flash out to safety. Still a nice look there as Giyu now going to be caught out 1v4, has a TP coming in. Vanguard's edge popped, he's going to try and reset again. Backing onto Insanity, dancing around, flashes back into the brush. And now going to try and live as the rest of EG have reinforced. Giyu still alive for a little while longer. Gets the heal there by Deathly. Alorum is going to die and divide. But they'll be able to pick up the Zac here, and Giyu absolutely outplays the rest of IMT as Brandini nails the next one onto Potluck. And EG, even when IMT gets something going, they still put a stop to it.
You wanted to go for even more, and it's the power of the Blade of the Ruined King. The sustain was way too high out of Giyu. Once the Conqueror proc, the healing is even greater. And this is, I think EG is just putting the finishing touches on this one, because Immortals, with a comp like this, the more you fall behind, the tougher it gets, because, again, you don't have really good late game insurance. Your insurance is now.
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is
like,
where you committed.
Pyke can certainly win fights that seem unwinnable if things line up, but not this Pyke. One item for Gate, level 8 only. Not this one yet, at least.
This fight.
So there's definitely avenues, as you said, like lots of good tools for IMT to use if they can use them perfectly. Fights are winnable, but it is getting more challenging, and Matt now continuing to find things for EG to do. Gate's going to get spotted by the sapling. Brandini's just unafraid. He's so powerful. It's definitely kites away around and just snaps Altek's face off as he dives in there with a killer instinct. And now Potluck going to be chased down by Brandini, who CCs once again. And the shield goes up, but definitely just dominating now, taking down the Pantheon for kill number 6 as EG will move in for this Drake as well.
Yeah, that's brutal. And I'm thinking more about how Immortals can actually answer this back. As long as Matt and Handa are grouped up, Immortals doesn't actually have a way back into this game. Black Shield can stop all of the CC that's necessary from Immortals to find a pick, and Flay can also be used to make sure that Zac never gets a slingshot off in his life. So this is looking really tough out of Immortals, and more so that EG needs to make a big mistake in rather.
Yeah, Cloud Drake putting up quite a lot of resistance to Anda, but Giyu does roam in to make sure that goes down safely. So now it is Soul Point up for EG. They will have a shot at that Drake in under 24 minutes. And they even got that Rift Herald as well that they can try and use. That is definitely currently holding the Eye of the Herald in his pocket. So gold lead starting to get pretty far out of control. 5,500 gold at 19 minutes here for Evil Geniuses. And they don't look like they want to slow down. And I have to feel like Brandini's having such a fun time here, because this is the kind of game where as Maokai, you can just kind of click on anyone and it feels good, Because, exactly, it's the perfect time to be a tank.
And they first picked you Maokai as well, so you feel even more validated, like, yes, this is great. Although, at the same time, you're also hoping that your coach read too much into the game and starts writing down notes like, I can Maokai whenever I want.
You know, you kind of bet yourself into the corner there. Once you accept Maokai in your life as a top laner, it's hard to get him out of there.
He puts an asterisk next to your role, like, will first pick Maokai if needed.
I think your draft strategy suddenly warps, and all of a sudden, like, the note that used to say if needed says, like, always first pick Maokai, and Ranjini's, like, left wondering what happened to the rest of his champion pool that he spent so much time lovingly crafting on. Needs to go back to Maokai again.
Now we know
exactly.
Sejuani
It's that
players
draft
are made.
It just gets lost over time.
Oh,
yeah.
One draft and you're in there.
So you have to, you have to show resistance. If like, no, I can play Lee Sin, coach. Give me Kane, I'll pop off. I'll show you. Give me Kiana, I can make it happen. I'll play at least. I'm an aggressive player. As soon as you let him have Sejuani.
Sejuani. Not even once.
Well, certainly the comp is working out for EG right now with them. Okay, so they'll keep riding their lead forward here. 4 towers to 1. If news couldn't get any worse for IMT, we'll see how they hold on to the next points of attack here for Evil Geniuses. There's everyone on the EG side has now finished their 2 items at least. Giyu is going to try and translate that lead up towards this top lane here. And they're going to dive Insanity. In fact, Definitely's going to start it off himself. See you later. 7 kills now, and that's TP in from Aloran, and does stop much out of there, but I think he's going to die after this. Pantheon also into the back line, but Frangini going to dive again. Altex has got no chance as Matt's able to take him down. Definitely and Giyu ripping through the front line as well. And even Aloran died to the Aurelia at the end of it all, so it's just Gate left alive now as EG perfectly dive IMT.
Ooh, maybe Gate wants to...
Oh, what a dodge. W's through the queue, and that's it. An ace, well-deserved for Definitely, who starts and ends that team fight, as EG are going to use this Rift Tower to crack an inhibitor tower.
They should be able to get an inhibitor here, too, if they want. EG's members are so strong, and Immortals is not back with another charge of Shelly. The first dent in Immortals.
Perfectly used Herald there, takes everything out of it. EG just quickly dive under the tower, and it doesn't seem like there's anything Immortals can do as they fall further and further behind. A minute 40 now to that Soul Drake will be available for Evil Geniuses to take, and that gold lead is just getting further and further out of hand, Crumbs.
This is why I felt like Morgana was not going to be a healthy pick if she is going to be a meta jungler. You can be building things like Athene's Holy Grail and still be so dangerous because it's not the counterplay it is counterplay, right? She is a counterplay champion, so you don't counterplay her.
I'm with you.
That gets confusing, but there's nothing that champions like Potluck can do. Like, if you think of all the physical damage junglers right now, you can kill Morgana as much as you want. She's still useful, right? She's still gonna be putting a black shield on your carry, hitting 5-man stuns, binds that last 2 seconds, and that's just something that...
Also, I don't know what illusions IMT are under about contesting for this Drake, but they have Super Minions streaming towards it. Top Nexus start right now, so they're just going to choose to fight instead. Aloran going to try and make it happen, but he's just not that tanky. Giyu going to dive back in. He will divide as the front side has already dove into the backline. Definitely legendary as Frangini actually just tanked the entire tower, it felt like, as Giyu finally finishes off Zac at the end of it all. Another hook lands in for Matt. Frangini in there as Giyu grabs the double, diving into the back line. Gonna make it 4, and the ace is just there on the table for the taking, as Definitely, once again, will seal the full 5-man wipe.
What a beautiful fight from Evil Geniuses. What the heck? We haven't seen them play like that before. They played that so well, dodging out of the Immortals engage. One big thing would have been the play onto Zac, but other than that,
good shutdown there for Nate, but I think that's all the good news that's going to be left. It's going to be EG taking the final Nexus of the regular season in style, looking very scary as they move into playoffs in prime form, Crumbs. This game was not even close. And they're even going to dive the fountain just for funsies.
Yeah. Not just showing new picks, but showing new players, as Giyu doesn't have all the games under Evil Geniuses, so this...
Oh my god, the stat padding.
One of the strongest rosters coming into playoffs.
The Nexus will finally reach its only logical conclusion at the end of that game. And 25 kills to 7. Didn't even need the Soul or the Baron.
More kills.
At the end of it, Crumbs. Evil Geniuses just steamroll Immortals in that game.
They farmed them. They had more kills
That's
than
true.
minutes on the game
That
from
is
Immortals
true.
inside.
All right, well, as we mentioned, that is the last game of the regular season, so we'll have a look at how the playoff bracket looks after all of that. As we mentioned, the bracket has now been decided. All 6 teams are locked. Once again, Cloud9 and Dignitas will be our 2 teams with the bye that will await the winners of the first 2 matches. That's going to be Evil Geniuses in prime form playing the 6th seed team Liquid, and TSM Academy playing 100 Thieves Academy, as Cloud9 will get to pick the winner of those 2 games and Dignitas will get the other. It's a playoff format you should be very familiar with if you've tuned into the Academy or the LCS in recent years. But again, Crumbs, we had so many questions to start the day, and all of them got answered as we play 0 tiebreakers, and I feel like the playoff bracket settles exactly where we expected.
It has been settled exactly where we expect, but the form of the teams has been a bit different as EG comes into it really scary, and they also play their best matchup, right? 3rd versus 6th is going to have a larger disparity than we expect 4th through 5th have, which means that we might be gearing up for a semis between Cloud9 and EG. That is
certainly going to be a lot to look forward to as playoffs do start next week, starting on Thursday, April the 2nd. That does it for us here, though. Thank you all for bearing with us through the changes as we transition to a remote broadcast. Please continue to let us know how we can improve the broadcast as we adjust as well. So now on behalf of myself, Crumbs, and the entire remote broadcast crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for Week 9 of the LCS.